Cha, 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 Igbo kwenu, oe. Cha, 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 Igbo kwenu, oe. Cha, 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 Igbo kwenu, oe. Abia kwenu, oe. Anambra kwenu, oe. Ebonyi kwenu, oe. Enugu kwenu, oe. Imo kwenu, oe. Nigeria kwezo no. Hello, beautiful friends, families, and loved ones, including all my ardent viewers and listeners. I welcome you all once again to my very popular segment. Let us learn everything about the Igbo. Okay. All right, this is your host, Mr. Omazi B.O., a full-fledged Igbo son and teacher of Igbo language, culture, and traditions, including general issues that affect our lives in the society, the lives of the Igbo and the lives of the non-Igbo. Okay, today we're going to talk about Olulu Nwaanyi or Olulu Nwaanyi, which simply means marriage. That is how marriages are initiated in Igbo land, how a man and a woman are thoroughly investigated before any dowry is paid on the woman, and they will become man and wife. So this is where our subject hinges on today. Okay, now if a man finds a woman interesting, he wants to marry her, he doesn't have to go to the father to talk to the father about the woman or the maiden he intends to get married if he hasn't spoken with the maiden. In Igbo land, it's not like America, where the man goes to the father of the maiden he intends to marry and tries to convince the man to talk to his daughter on his behalf. No, no, no. We don't do that in Igbo land. First of all, you have to seek the consent of the lady, the maiden you intend to marry as a man. Then the fact that you've been dating or you've known her for a while does not mean she will accept you if she doesn't like you as a person. Okay, she might find some things she wouldn't want to deal with all the rest of her life, about you. So those are the things that would kind of create a brick wall, something that will make her not to accept your proposal. So, but if she actually likes you and accepts your proposal, that's first stage. You've passed that first stage because you've sought her consent and I've got it. Now, the second stage, you have to travel home, meet your father, your mother, your elderly uncles or your uncles, and your aunties, if possible, the elderly ones. You're not going to be the person to call the elderly ones. Your father will do the errand for you. You have to kind of give him money that will enable him to get things that are needed, like drinks, cola nuts, and food that will be presented to the elderly people in the family, and a few trusted ones outside of your family will be also invited, and they have to be hosted. So you now let them know, let them in on your intention. Tell them about the lady or the maiden you intend to marry, and tell them where the lady comes from, where she hails from, her hometown. If she's Igbo, and it's the thing has been half solved. Yeah, the puzzle has been half solved. Then you will kind of finance them. Your father and the group of people you would want to visit the girl's homeland with. So they will go there. Understand? Before you travel home to tell your father about the maiden you intend to get married to, then remember the maiden has given a nod. That means she has accepted you. That's the first stage which you've passed. Then they will go there and try to, not necessarily go into the girl's family or the maiden's family. They would find a way. The elders know exactly how to go about it. They will find a way to make some verifications about the maiden. One, they have to find out if the family is one where lives cut short, where people don't live to a particular age that's acceptable for one to say, okay, someone uh, has joined his or her ancestors, and at a very ripe age, if it's at the ripe age, it can be understood, it can be tolerated. People, cutting lives at a very tender age, the youths will get to a particular age and will just kick the bucket. So it's very important. They will find out whether, before they do that, first of all, they will find out whether the maiden is a full-fledged daughter of the soil, otherwise known in Igbo language or Igbo land as Madiala. If she's a freeborn, that's the number one stage after she's accepted. Then second, they have to find the lifespan of everybody in that family. How long do people live before they kick the bucket? Whether they, cut short of life at a very tender age. It's very important. They will find out that one as well. Then they will find out if there's any terminal disease that is suffered by the members of the family. Okay, like madness, lunacy, all these things. When I say madness, it still means lunacy. Then the other one called epilepsy. Okay, epilepsy in Igbo is called akoko. So it's a terminal disease, or maybe something that happens quarterly or monthly, and it's not acceptable. So that one has to be investigated as well. So why these are important is because first, they wouldn't want the medic to come and not last long, or any of the children she brings forth after she's married, not to last long. They don't want anybody cutting short of life at a very tender age. So it's very, very important to the Igbo people. I think to other tribes as well, but I'm talking about the Igbo, my tribe. Okay, now, these things will be verified, and then when everything is okay, then they will now tell the man, that's the young man who wants to get married, that the road is clear, the route is clear. Okay, now, like I said, this is not America, where the man meets the father of the maiden to try to talk to him to convince his daughter about his intention to marry her. First of all, the man has to seek the girl's consent. When he gets it, then he moves on with other things. So when the Iran group has made a thorough inquiries about the maiden's family background, like I said, the man is given a green light. Then he will now, either he comes personally, they will go to the ladies, the maiden's family, and what is called a list is collected. You pay a certain sum of money. It depends on the sum varies. What this particular family or town in Igbo land collects differs from what another family or town in Igbo land collects. So it's not fixed. So you use a particular sum of money to collect the list. Once you've collected the list, the next thing to do is study the list properly to see if there are some of the contents there you will not be able to handle. But as far as you actually mean to marry a lady, though those things are contestable, but there are basic ones on the list that you cannot change, irrespective of your financial situation. So you really have to make sure that you carry them out. So I hear a lot of people say to get married to an Igbo lady or Igbo ladies is very expensive in Igbo land. Yes, not that the sum you pay, the dowry, is very expensive. The dowry is just in some Igbo lands, not up to 100 naira. And which indicates that when you pay 100 naira, you've not paid anything. It's absolutely nothing. Because if they say you should bring 1 million naira, according to Igbo beliefs, 100 million naira is not worth anybody's head. It's not worth their daughter's head. So no money is quantifiable for a woman's head. So they will say pay 100 naira. But the other items contend, or the items contend on the list, are very voluminous. You have to buy them, though you have to there will be a kind of bargain. So there are people that will do the bargaining for you. Then you have what is called a witness who comes from your town, the girl's town, the maiden's town. In Igbo, the person is called Onyakebe. Okay, the witness will be the one that will act, be a go-between between you and his people. So whatever you say, he will relate to his people. Whatever his people say, he will relate to you. So that is the go-between, is what that witness is referred to in Igbo land. Then the man will be the one to meet you. Then you tell him, the young man, you who is getting married, will tell the man what you can afford, what should be cut out from the list. So once whatever you say, he will relate to his people. As this continues, at a time you will reach an agreement. It's usually said in Igbo that Ade alocha Nwaanyi alocha. What that means is that you don't marry a woman and you have married her off completely from her family. You stand to help your in-laws when they are in need and you're capable financially to render such help to them. So you don't do anything, pay the marital things, observe the marriage rites, and it's all over. Then you take the woman and you shut the door between you and your in-laws. No, it's not done. So now, after the dowry, which is not questionable, okay, it's not contestable. The only one that is contestable, the only ones that are contestable are the contents on the list, marriage list. So you have to then observe what the women will collect. You have to do a portion for the women and a portion for the men. In some families, the man whose daughter is getting married will tell the groom not to bother, and they should ensure that he does other things, the women's things, the men's things, but leave their own. So it all depends on the family the man meets or finds himself. So that's done. Now the marriage will the right, the paying of the dowry, will be observed. The day the dowry is paid, that woman or that maiden, the man is entitled to take her home as his wife. In core Igbo tradition, a woman becomes a man's wife once he pays her dowry. This Ebanku or Ekwanku, as some Igbo people will call it, traditional marriage is just ceremonial. The main thing is the dowry, and they have to observe at least 70 or 80% of what are contained on the list. Once that's done, then the woman automatically becomes your wife. But in the Christendom, you will hear them say you have to walk the woman down the aisle. That is, you have to do white wedding before she automatically becomes your wife and they can do anything. Then you both can consummate each other. So, but in the eye of the Igbo tradition, a woman becomes a man's wife once he pays her dowry. Okay? All right. So that's just it. Now, this Wadiala, that is son of the soil or freeborn versus freeborn. Okay, so that's the way it's done in Igbo land. You do all the necessary things that need to be done, then the woman becomes yours. Then you are addressed as a married couple, married man, a man and his wife. Okay, that's all for now. When we meet some other time, we'll talk about, we'll continue from where we stopped to make people know more. I will let people know more about marriage, traditional marriage in Igbo land. You stand to learn a lot about how Igbo intermarry. All right, guys. See you much later and have a good night rest. Love you all. Bye-bye.